Boy, there was a lot to bark about last night on the South Side, and it was Jose Quintana that made it rough on the Indians with a dominant pitching performance. Tonight, the Sox look to keep it up with a third straight win against the Tribe. The NBA season is on the horizon. It's Bulls night at the ballpark. That's 6 trophies all in one spot. It is the Craig Elo revenge game from U.S. Cellular Field, the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago White Sox in game number 3 of this 4-game series. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. It was a deadlock game at 1 last night until Adam Eaton and the offense scored 7 runs in the 6th.
Adam Eaton's just been doing it consistently. That batting average up to 285. He's trying to get to 300. It's going to be a long trek for him. However, last night he was a catalyst. In the big 6th, he had a leadoff walk. Then he hits one in the gap. That one bounds out of the ballpark. And Adam Eaton, over the last 5 games, has had 5 multi-hit games. You see what he's hitting. He's hit a home run, but he's a table setter. He scored 7 runs, driven in 3. And if he's getting on base, giving Anderson a chance to execute, this team will score some runs, and that's what's been happening lately.
On the pitching mound for the Sox, Carlos Rodon has just been fantastic. His opponent tonight has not recently.
Josh Tomlin's really struggled. Carlos Rodon has been pitching unbelievably well. We'll take a look at Josh Tomlin, who went 9-1 to start the season, but in August 0-5 with an ERA in another stratosphere. Carlos Rodon on the other side of the equation, the last 7 starts, 5-0, ERA 185, and it would appear that he's grown into his stuff this year. Because as the year moves along, he gets better and better. He's increased the changeups. That's been good, and right now he's just been overwhelming.
Sox have done it in 2 separate ways in this series. They chipped away in game 1 with a run in every inning. Last night, it was a cavalcade in the 6th. 7 runs, the highest output in any inning for the Sox. And drinks are on Trevor Bauer. Sox and Indians are next.
White Sox baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Both an artificially lit and moonlit sky here at U.S. Cellular Field. It's game number 3 of this 4-game series. Game number 9 of the homestand out of 10 in 11 days. Sox got 8 innings of 1-run ball from Jose Quintana last night. He was outstanding. Third time he's gone 8 this year. Here's the starting pitching last 11 home games for the Sox. Opponents are batting .221. 10 out of 11 have been quality starts and basically just one base runner per inning through that span.
When you take a look at almost 6-1 in strikeout to walk ratio, you realize why the whip is an even 1. And Carlos Rodon's been a big part of that. His stuff has been overwhelming most of the time, and now he's commanding it a lot better than he ever has.
Here comes Avi and Carlos to take the field. A slow walk and a fierce look from Carlos Rodon tonight. Here's the lineup he will face, written out by Terry Francona of the Cleveland Indians. It's presented by Kia, and it starts with Rajai Davis, who has 35 stolen bases, but has predominantly been kept off the base path in this series. Lindor in the 3 spot is dangerous. Napoli and Santana and Ramirez, a strong middle of the order. Geyer, Crisp, and Jimenez, his first start of the series.
Honda City defense, and how they'll line up. Behind Carlos Rodon, it's Melky, Adam, and Avi in the outfield. It's become very familiar with Carlos Sanchez, Tim Anderson, Dallas Saladino, Todd Frazier at first base. Omar Narvaez gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus for swing perfection starting pitcher is Carlos Rodon. This is his 25th start. He's thrown 142 innings, looking to even his record at 8-8. That ERA just keeps getting lower and lower. And left-handers haven't done a great deal with him this year. Umpires for the game tonight. Dale Scott, the crew chief, behind the plate. Bob Davidson at first, so the left-handed move better beware. Dan Iasonia at second, and Lance Barrett is at third. Terry Francona, one of the best managers in all of baseball. Undoubtedly, the 12th year in a row, he will be over 500. He's got himself a pretty good ball club. He's managed it very well. You look at those numbers as an Indian manager, and overall, 532, not bad. He had a pretty good country ball club in Boston to deal with.
He's already taken Cleveland to the playoffs as a manager here, trying to get back there. The wild card back in 2013, his first season. And he deploys Rajai Davis first for an Indians team that's lost the first 2 to the Sox in this series. Strike 1 from Carlos Rodon, and you know that summer's ending because the umpires have long sleeves on.
Rajai Davis has tortured Carlos Rodon in a small sample size.
Now, 5 out of 9 for his career is a pretty high number.
But he's in an 0-2 hole, and that's the way you love to see Carlos working, because then the wipeout slider or the high fastball come into play.
Fastball got a lot of the plate. It's in the air right side. Avi Garcia veering into foul territory and almost cross-handed makes the catch for round number 1.
There's an example of Narvaez calling for a high fastball. He wanted it up and out of the strike zone. Carlos didn't get it there, but equally as effective as he just hits a little fly ball in foul territory.
Very close to a full moon tonight at the ballpark.
It's 72 degrees.
That's what they keep it at in domes. 72 and sunny.
Without the 10-mile-an-hour wind.
Unless the air conditioning is going full blast. Strike 1 to Kipnis.
He didn't like the call, but it had the whole plate. So I think when Jason gets a look at that, assuming that he has the Toyota pitch tracks, he will see that that indeed was a strike.
Flying off the shelves like hotcakes. Toyota pitch tracks, the home game.
It really helps you when you observe other teams.
It's a little bit of a bear to set up.
Other umpires. Well, yeah, it's it is fairly costly to rig in your house, I believe.
The prototype drained batteries pretty quickly too, so we're working on a second version of the home game. It's 1-2 to Kipnis. Carlos has not lost since July the 31st. Quite the streak the second-year major leaguer has been on. Flat roller to Saladino, and 2 down in the Cleveland first. Carlos, first season in the majors last year out of NC State, 3rd overall 2 seasons ago, highest Sox draft pick since Harold Baines.
He also last year went 9-6, and he kept getting better as the year went along. That's why how he started out this year was somewhat surprising. But the light has turned on, and he's been awfully good.
Into right center field, Lindor up the alleyway, and he is on his way to second base with his first hit of the series, the young shortstop.
Lindor, one of 6 switch hitters on this team. And from the right side, he's hitting an even 300. He's a better left-hand hitter. Got a bit more pop from the left side. And one of the truly great young shortstops in baseball, and we're starting to bring a whole lot of them to the major leagues.
Got a big old smile on his face, the runner-up for the AL Rookie of the Year last year. Carlos Correa, a very talented young shortstop. That's the one thing about the unbalanced schedule. You play a lot in division, and somebody like Correa you only see 6-7 times a season.
Well, there's something to be said for the unbalanced schedule, which is what they used to have, where everybody played everybody 2 series at home and home. Not these days.
Depends on where you're calibrating the balance, really, because it's balanced within the division. The imbalance comes in how many times you play the American League teams that are outside of your division.
The reason why they went back to the balanced schedule was that if you win your division, baseball wanted you to beat the teams in your division.
Napoli drops the bat, and he is done. Lindor stranded at second, and the Sox take their swings at Josh Tomlin. To our 9th in the American League in batting average at .257. Eden Anderson Cabrera up top. Omar Narvaez up to the 5 spot tonight. Then Frazier and Garcia Sanchez Saladino close it out.
Our Honda City defense, and now Terry Francona is going to put them out there. It's Crisp, Davis, and Geyer in the outfield with Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, and Napoli in the infield. Chris Jimenez, in this his 3rd go-round as a member of these Cleveland Indians, is behind the plate. Our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Josh Tomlin, who got off to a great start. But August, a very unkind month to him.
He will face Adam Eaton first, who we told you about in the open, on quite the run of multi-hit games, but this will be an out. Rajay Davis is under it for the first of 27 outs allotted the Sox. Pinwheel Moon at the ballpark. You are getting sleepy.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Hello.
Are we on?
Yeah. One out for Anderson.
Tomlin's not overpowering. He does have a good curveball. But what happened to him, especially in August, he just fell in love with the cutter. And when he was pinpoint with it, that was one thing. But he wasn't pinpoint with it and lost some velocity off the fastball. And this is a guy at one point of this season when he had won his 9th game. To go to 9-1, he had more wins than walks. At that point, he had won 9 and walked only 8 for the season.
He has not won a game since July the 30th. So, sometimes you hear, as you see the Tomlin choices, he uses the cutter more than the run-of-the-mill fastball.
Mickey Callaway does not like that. He does have a very good curveball and a straight change to go with it. But the fact that he threw so many cutters, they believe, and I think justifiably so, that it does deduct some velocity from a fastball that's good enough certainly when he pinpoints it, but it's not overwhelming.
His average fastball this year is 88 miles an hour. His average cutter this year, 85 miles an hour.
Pretty good draft pick, 19th round in 2006 for these Indians.
Ramirez at third. Throws out Anderson, 2 away, in time for our picks to click tonight. You can vote online, whitesox.com/pick-to-click. We have a very tight race. Neck and neck. The Crews got Frazier tonight, trying to hold on to that lead. Abreu to you, the fan. Adam Eaton for Steve, and I'll go Tyler Saladino.
It's hard for me to conceive of the fact that you could pick the same guy all the time. Fans riding Jose Abreu for all he's worth. Now, I personally would never do that. Except when I picked Melky, I don't know, like 15 of 16 games.
Quick spelling bee. Try out hypocrisy.
That's not Melky's first name.
If you ask for the language of origin, I will say stone. Ball and a strike on Melky Cabrera. Not saddled today with.
No, I'm not riding Melky like a pack mule tonight.
1-2 on Melky Cabrera. Indians come in with the best ERA in the American League, despite a couple of rough games at the hands of the Sox offense in this series.
They're starting to get a little concerned with that rotation that at one point looked so solid.
That one's roped through, and Melky's on, first base runner for the Sox tonight. And there's the self-applause for Melky.
Well, Melky is one of the left-handers that can go up and get a high fastball. There's not a whole lot of those guys. Justin Morneau, another one, but he's had some neck difficulties. That's why Jose Abreu is the DH. Todd Frazier is playing first base. Sox assume that Justin Morneau will be ready to go tomorrow.
Abreu 5 for 8 career against Tomlin. And ball number 1. Jose 4 for 8 in this series, a double, 4 knocked in. The average pinging up toward 300 once again. Last 15 games for Jose Abreu, average over 400, the OPS above 1,000. Now tied for 8th in the American League with those 94 knocked in. Ball and a strike. grizzly right-hander Tomlin,
who's only hit 3 batters this year. But early in the season when he was winning, he was pounding the right-handers inside. Then because of the cutter, he started to get away from that, and it's hurt him. He's going inside again here.
Up and in, 2-1. The 11th season with the Indians organization for Josh Tomlin. His last outing with Cleveland was actually a relief outing. Went 1 inning out of the bullpen more than a week ago, 9 days ago.
Well, they had decided that too many cutters, getting hit a whole lot harder than he would like, and inability to win throughout the month of August to put him in the pen. But then Salazar went down and there was a hole in the rotation. And they know one thing from Tomlin is he will get the ball over the plate.
That ball's hammered to left field, but right at Crisp to retire this side. Melky stranded at first. We're scoreless through 1. Insider all season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by The Great Escape. Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your everyday shop. The Great Escape. Dan Hayes did not bring his dog to the ballpark last night, though there were 1,122 dogs here. The Sox set the Guinness World Record for dogs at a sporting event.
They were all qualified and in one area for at least 10 minutes to be counted.
Good behavior.
Here's another guy, by the way, that has very good luck against Carlos Rodon.
Yeah, 6 out of 13 for Santana career against Carlos. That's whacked foul. By the way, we have a relic from Dog Day on the prize shelf tonight. We have Carlos Rodon's dog Lefty donating something for us.
I'm actually looking for a paw print, but I can't find it.
Top to short, Anderson throws out Santana and 1 away. It is a game-chewed baseball from Carlos's dog Lefty on the prize shelf tonight. You can win it if you have the right answer for Sox Math. 1 out for Ramirez, one of the litany of switch hitters in the lineup for Terry Francona.
He's been a much better hitter from the left side, but pretty good from both sides. 295 right-handed, 317 left-handed. He looks out at Carlos from the right side.
Inside 2-0 on Ramirez. The Indians last 2 nights have scored in the second inning. The problem is they've scored only 1 run outside of the second inning in those last 2 games. There's a strike on Ramirez.
There you see the disparity, but still pretty consistent.
That's a strike, 2-2.
Looks like tonight, Dale Scott's strike zone includes the low strike, something we haven't seen a lot of lately.
A little too low there, 3-2.
Ramirez signed with the Indians in 2009. And this year, it appears he's here to stay for some time.
This battle lasts at least one more pitch for Jose Ramirez, just 23 years old, and he's one of the 2 young guys in this lineup. Everybody else is 29 or older. Geyer's 30. But Lindor and Ramirez are 22 and 23. Anderson less time this time, but he still gets it there. And Ramirez retired. 2 out for Brandon Geyer, who provided the only offense last night for Cleveland.
Came in the second inning with 1 out. Brandon Geyer's made his living hitting left-handers. And then, just so he remembered, Jose went inside the next time he saw him in the 4th inning and had a good piece of his left knee.
Brandon Geyer by far leads the Cleveland Indians in hit by pitches.
30 of them.
Not all of those have come here, but his total for the year is rather sizable.
Well, he's been asked about it, obviously, because he's so far and away #1 in baseball and getting hit. And he just said, my job's to get on base. I will not get out of the way of something thrown inside if it's not at my head.
Well, he doesn't get any value for that one, except for a ringing pain.
They went and got Geyer from Tampa when Jonathan Lucroy and that deal fell through. They wanted another right-handed bat. They got one who's a specialist against left-hand pitchers, and he's still feeling the effects of that.
Two strikes on Geyer. Carlos got him. Omar hung on. 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Rodon. Still no score in Game 3 of this series.
Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
It's also magic number time around Major League Baseball. People are starting to talk about those magic numbers. Washington shaved its down to 7. The Cubs are down to 1 in the National League.
With that shutout of St. Louis today, John Lester having a miraculous year. 17-4, ERA 2.40.
It looks as though the Rangers will be the first to clinch. I mean, at least as it stands right now, the way they've been playing. Although the Mariners aren't going away terribly easily. It's 0-2 on Omar. Rangers and Astros are playing once again tonight. 1-1 your score at top of the second inning there in Houston.
One of the concerns about Josh Tomlin is that this is the most innings by far that he's thrown after Tommy John surgery. He had 1 year before where the innings count was high, but not since then. They view that as one of the reasons for the trouble in August.
People talk about that wall that a pitcher hits sometimes. What does that feel like?
You don't have any pain. It's not a sore arm.
High into the sky from Narvaez. Davis calls off Lindor and one away. The White Sox Back to Class Pass is available now, and for just $25, you, the fan, can attend all 7 games during the final regular season homestand. WhiteSox.com/pass.
So when your arm starts to fatigue, what will happen is, because it's not a sore arm, it's a tired arm, you're going to lose movement on your fastball. You might lose a mile or two an hour, maybe, maybe not, but you do lose the late movement that you have when you're feeling pretty good. And pitchers describe it in spring training. You hear it a lot. Dead arm. After 3 starts or so, you have a dead arm. It does come back, but it takes a bit. And that's what they've been thinking about with Tomlin. So putting him in the bullpen, having him miss a couple of starts, that might be the key.
Lindor, 2 down. And pitchers tend to, correct me if I'm wrong here, pitchers tend to like to be in control of just about everything, whether it be routine, whether it be mechanics, whatever it might be. You can't really do much about it, right?
No, this is it. It's a non-controllable situation. All you have to do, as you see with the really bad August, what you have to do is build yourself up to that point. Understand what it feels like to get to 160, 170 innings and know you've got 40 more to go before the season's over. If you haven't been there, it's really difficult, and you can't conceive of it because you've never been through it. That's why this year will help Tomlin for next year.
Foul ball wide of third.
Time now for our Lowe's home field advantage, and it is Avisail Garcia. Last 14 home games, hitting close to 400. Hit a couple of home runs, 4 doubles, driven in 8, scored 12, and only twice was he turned away without a base hit.
Avi somewhat quietly building a strong second half.
Getting an opportunity now to play, and I think, like most guys, he likes the fact that he's getting a chance to play right field.
There goes the bat. Here comes Kipnis. Safe!
I think Jason should have obviously hurried that one a bit.
It is a hit officially.
Well, they'll probably want to take a look at it. The bat goes flying. Kipnis has it. Now we'll see. We'll slow it down for you. And he is out at first base. Ball in the glove, foot in the air. I think this will take a very short period of time.
So as they go do this replay, I want to ask you, this should be a pretty easy one. What are your top 5 baseball movies?
Field of Dreams, #1 by far. Major League. Mr. Baseball.
Yeah, Tom Selleck, a classic.
In Japan.
What about A League of Their Own?
I loved A League of Their Own, but I needed more John Lovitz. He left that picture a little too early for me because I thought he was an intriguing character. And I know the story's going in a different direction, but...
He's out, it looks like. We will find out.
Yeah, right there, ball in the glove, foot not on the bag. So let's see how they view it in New York. Saddest movie? I mean, there were some times in Field of Dreams that you teared up a bit, but Bang the Drum Slowly was one of those that was not an uplifting film.
How about Angels in the Outfield? Well, we got to stop talking about it. Review's over. 4-3 on the ground ball. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tomlin. Upon review, send in your top 5 questions for Steve. We'll do them during replays.
Cellular Field, where we are scoreless here in the top of the third. Tyler Saladino making his 36th start at second base, and before the game he talked about being more comfortable actually at shortstop. He said even though you're lined up basically on the opposite side of the field, you get a better read on the hits, you get a better read on the pitches, and you can read the swings better. So it's all about a comfort level for him. However, he's been filling in so well for Brett Laurie since he went on the DL on July 22nd. He said with these last 18 games of the season, he's just trying to come in, do his job, prepare as best he can, and be used in any way he can. Robin Ventura also talked about what a selfless guy he is, how humble he is, about how he's willing to take on any role that he's put in, and it's made him such an attractive figure inside the clubhouse. Steve, Jason, I'll send it back up to you guys in the booth.
Well, Sierra, Saladino's got a visitor at second, and Robin Ventura came out to visit as well. And that ball from Coco Crisp, which landed in foul territory. The question is, though, did it go over the bag fair? And this is not a reviewable play.
Right, because it was in front of Lance Barrett. However, they did confer, and having conferred, Robin has to come in second in this particular inquiry.
Let's see.
Well, right there, Lance is pointing fair right away. In his estimation, it went over the bag as a fair ball. Doesn't matter where it lands after it crosses the bag.
And again, you're dead on the rule. If it's in front of the base umpire, it is not reviewable. Anything behind his position is reviewable. So no challenge forthcoming. Crisp has a double.
They're very happy to have Coco Crisp back in an Indian uniform. They liked him when he was there before. He's had a whole lot of injuries, but when he's healthy, he can be a factor for the playoffs.
Bunt popped foul by Jimenez, the former and current Cleveland Indian catcher.
They must really like him because you get a guy back 3 different times. It's usually a good thing. Means you fit in well with the ball club and you give them a much needed extra catcher.
Jimenez had his biggest power season by far in the Indians minor league system. He came up through Cleveland. That's inside. He had 26 home runs in 2007, 20 of them in A-ball, 6 of them in Double-A, and he was thought of as a possible up-and-coming power bat for Cleveland.
Well, they had a pretty good one, Yan Gomes, who is rehabbing now, and they think he might be activated as soon as Friday. But they've gotten virtually nothing out of the catching position this year, and that's been a trouble spot for them.
They thought they had Jonathan Lucroy, and they seemed to. He invoked his no-trade clause and then ended up going to Arlington.
Take a look at what Indians catchers have done this year. All of them combined hitting 185. The on-base percentage, not much. 14 home runs. Lucroy, since he went to Texas, has hit 10 of them. Even 300 batting average, and he's driven in almost a run per every game he started for the Rangers.
But there is good news for the Cleveland Indians, because Yan Gomes tonight is 1 for 2 in Game 2 of the Eastern League Championship Series for the Akron Rubber Ducks in Double-A.
Those Rubber Ducks are tough.
They're the one.
They're a good, solid club. Happy to have a bona fide major league catcher helping them out in Double-A.
3-2. Tipped foul. He's out of the game now. He was DHing and has been pinch hit for by somebody I'm sure equally capable.
Well, they talked to Terry Francona, and he said he knows he's not going to be able to catch every day. Wouldn't expect him to do that, but catch every now and then. Gomes, a pretty good defensive catcher. A couple of years back, had a huge year offensively. Last year, not much, as he was hurt.
It's outside, ball 4. 2 on. Nobody out. Carlos let out quite the scream after missing on 3-2 to the 9-hitter.
Yep. Sounded like he said darn.
He was talking about the Double-A affiliate of the Indians.
So now Rajai Davis, not known for his bunt ability, but he has been known as a guy that has tortured Carlos Rodon. So now he's talking with Carlos to Carlos at third on what they want to do in the case of a bunt.
That's not your typical Carlos to Carlos conversation, though. Carlos Sanchez's real first name is actually Yolmer, Y-O-L-M-E-R. Carlos Rodon is a regular, everyday Carlos. There's strike 1.
Yolmer. That's a good name. One of the best Yolmers in the big leagues.
Yeah, you have to believe, right?
Yeah.
At least top 3. He's never gone by the name, he says. He took Carlos on very, very young. Oh, 0-1 on Davis. And that's low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And so far, Rajai Davis has shown no indication he's going to bunt. Terry Francona looking at the numbers just like everybody else, and they heavily tilt toward Rajai Davis in a head-to-head matchup with Carlos Rodon.
In the air, right field. Avi is there. A little touch and go. He made the play. 1 down. Well, you see what happens to the Indians when Rajai Davis is not on base. That's a dimension that they haven't been able to use in this series.
No, and he's had a really nice year for him when he does get on base. More than likely to steal a base. And there was a time in the career of Coco Crisp, who's out at second, where you really had to watch him because he was as good a base stealer as there was. But these days, a lot of injuries. He's stolen 9, but he's been caught 5 times. That's not a good percentage.
Two on, one out for Kipnis, who takes ball 1. Cleveland comes in 6 games up on the Tigers in the Central. Tigers lost yesterday. Playing a close one with the Twins so far today. 6-6 in the 5th at Comerica Park, as it's Bulls night here.
We saw the trophies before the game. 6 shiny basketballs.
Launch foul by Kipnis, 1-1.
Crisp swiped 49 bases back in 2011. For his career, he swiped 308. But even more impressive than that, he has an 80% career success rate.
Could be 2. Saladino, Anderson, the pivot, and a double play. 4-6 to 3, and say goodnight to the top of the 3rd.
Brian Urlacher for the premiere of his brand new show, The Hard Count. Tune in to hear number 54's take on what the Bears will have to do to win in Game 2 against the Eagles and much more. The Hard Count, presented by Restore, premieres tomorrow night at 10:30 on CSN Chicago.
Chip Kelly's current and former teams both had some success in week number 1. Bears trying to get back even. Can't go on much of a losing streak in football. When you lose 4 or 5 in a row in baseball, you get back up the next day and you say it could change tomorrow. There are only 16 of them.
16 and an off week, so you can let a few of your guys heal up.
It's kind of surprising the NFL hasn't gone back to 2 bye weeks, considering all of the research that is being dealt with player safety. Strike 1 to Sanchez, who's 17 out of 95 in the majors this year. He's been up and back a bunch from AAA Charlotte, whose season came to an end just a half game out of the playoffs.
He tripled last night, drove in a couple of runs, got hit, something he doesn't want to repeat.
Still no score tonight after the Sox and Indians played the first 2 of this series. 8 was the winning number last night for the Sox, 11 in the opener. Tomlin, a breaking ball, lofted to left. One down in the glove of Coco Crisp.
Indians had a golden opportunity, but Carlos Rodon threw the double play ground ball. Got one of his arch nemesis hitters to lift a fly ball to right field when he retired Davis. And so a double, a walk with nobody out does not come back to help the Indians very much.
Saladino, whose dog Luna was here at the ballpark, one of 1,122 at the yard last night.
That was a very good looking dog.
2 strikes on Saladino. You know, it opens the door. The Sox setting the record for most dogs at a sporting event opens the door for other pets to come to a sporting event, and allowing for Guinness World Records with large groups of those at the park. Thinking like lemur night.
Well, I know you've always liked your pet rock, so you could get a bunch of those in the ballpark and you wouldn't have to register them for shots. So we'll take a look at a few of the littler hounds, some of the mid-size hounds,
The hungry hounds.
and a stenciled hounds, and that is a large hound. A Great Dane.
One and two. Up the middle, pinging off Tomlin. Lindor has no play.
Well, he's unhappy with himself, but he had to redirect after that ball hit off of the glove of Tomlin. And then you're left with catch it and throw it in the same motion. It's got to be bare hand with a guy who can run. This one a base hit all the way, although Lindor thought he should have made the play, but there are some that you just can't make. And that ball actually was moving to his right. A good infield base hit. I just haven't seen a bad one, but that is a good one.
You get the feeling that Lindor believes that he could make just about every play in front of him.
With that ability, you know it. And one of the things that they give you with Jimenez behind the plate is he doesn't throw particularly well. This is a good stolen base opportunity.
To the corner, strike one to Eaton. With these 3 in a row, Saladino, Eaton, Anderson in the lineup, it gives you a pocket of fast players to deal with.
Ramirez at third still believes Adams going to lay one down because he is in front of the bag at the cut of the grass, and that was a quick move to first, but not in time.
Oh, and 1. Another throw to first. You know, you get one free one if you're on the road, right? The second one comes and people start to boo. The third one happens and everybody joins in.
I think he's seen the best Tomlin move, and I believe he could probably get in. Now he's taking another step and a half on the lead.
Adam whacks it to right center field, up the alleyway. Saladino's on his way to third. He's going to score easily. Adams digging for triple number 9, and he's in there without a bid. It's an RBI 3-base hit.
RBI number 55, and you couldn't have split the gap any better than Adam Eaton did. He drives this ball, and Eaton has been on fire. No chance at all for Davis to run it down. Saladino's going to score easily. Joe McEwing now not concentrating on him, but concentrating on Adam Eaton. as he waves him to third. And it forces the infield in at all 4 positions.
So Adam now tied for the major league lead with 9 triples. It's a 5-way tie, by the way.
This is a year that Adam certainly has to be proud of because he was learning a new position. When Austin Jackson got here, he shifted to right field, turned it into a great defensive year. And lately, he's as hot as just about anybody swinging the bat.
12 for his last 23. 0-2 on Anderson.
Well, this is where some pitchers will go to face high fastballs if they're concerned at all about the catcher blocking a curveball in the dirt. If Tomlin is not concerned about that, nice time to throw a good curveball out of the zone.
About 15% this year curveball from Tomlin, and he goes up high. 1-2.
Tim has 1 sacrifice fly.
Down he goes. Tomlin strikes him out. First punch out for the Sox tonight in a key spot early for Tomlin.
That was a cutter, and that one was well off the plate. So Tim expanded his zone, and it cost him. You see where Jimenez wants it? Tight spin. The cutter is designed to move 3 inches straight across. Get it off the sweet spot of the bat. In that case, get it off the outside part of the plate.
Two down, infield back, and Melky, who singled his first time, cracks it foul. What do you think is next in terms of pitcher spin? Is there another frontier
As far as
pitch type?
which pitch?
Yeah. I mean, the cutter's really gotten in vogue recently.
Yeah, very much so. Although the slider was invented originally as a cutter. They called it the nickel curve. It was only made to maybe move 3 inches and move it off the sweet spot of the bat. So as the slider got depth to it, that's when the cutter came back, which was the original slider. Now guys want the depth as well as the movement away or in if you're a left-hander or right-hand hitter. They tried the splitter for a long time. That's very destructive on elbows. And so I don't think that's going to be brought. It'll be brought back with individual pitchers, but not as a wholesale industry thing.
Yeah, it's only something like 20 guys throwing a lot of split finger pitches now.
We've seen elevation being used more so now than maybe ever before. That face high fastball used a lot.
Upstairs. 2-1 on Melky. Eaton Chase back.
I think what we've seen is vastly different as starting pitchers have gone to, if not necessarily the stretch, a David Price type approach where there's very little movement before you come and deliver the baseball. And that's one of the things that we've seen in this latest generation of pitchers. Less movement on the mound.
Especially, and you brought up a good point too. I mean, with the strain on the arm being so important and imperative to teams, you would think that maybe the next generation would be preservational in nature.
Well, a changeup as opposed to a splitter.
Loop to center field. Davis is there for out number 3. But a 1-out triple for Adam Eaton, and the Sox are on the board first tonight at 1-0. Hashtag SoxMath on Twitter. Take the number of Sox wins in this series, multiply the number of Sox batters in last night's 6th inning. Subtract the last digit of the year in which Chicago went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Add the total of numbers in Chicago's song, which begins with Waiting for the Break of Day. Cleveland being the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we figured you may win something from this shelf for knowing something about rock and roll tonight. The one missing item from the prize shelf there, because Steve was holding it, is the ABC baseball from Lefty Rodon.
Yes, a pre-chewed baseball. Looks like it had seen better days, but you know it's authentic.
Straight from the dog's mouth.
That's it.
Lefty was here for Bark at the Park, and he's donated a baseball for us. Smoked foul by Lindor, who's 1 for 1 with a double.
Terry Francona said that he was going to rest Lindor one game of the series. Well, he's played the first 3. If they don't win tonight, it's going to be awfully tempting to run him out there tomorrow afternoon.
Second base, Saladino. After Rodon eluded it. 1 out.
But Napoli does come up in a situation. 1 out, nobody on. 2 outs, nobody on. He is thinking about one particular pitch to look for and try to hit it out of the ballpark. He, of course, like most hitters, sometimes will look for a zone. If he gets it in that zone, you are in trouble.
That was not the zone he was looking for.
Nor was he looking for a straight change on the first pitch, because Carlos doesn't usually throw that many of them, but that was a good one, and as he's gotten better, he's thrown more straight changes. There's back-to-back straight changes. And a 3-mile-an-hour disparity between the 82 and the 85.
That'll put you at sea mentally, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, if he learns to be able to put a little something on, take a little something off the straight change, and keep a good motion, same release point, same arm velocity, you're looking at a 20-game win.
You're saying hands down, that stuff there is 20-game stuff for many years.
If he learns the finesse of the straight change and makes it a couple of different pitches, not just one, to go with his 2 sliders to get me over in the wipeout slider, his fastball, which can be anywhere from 92 to 98 we've seen, yeah, he's going to win 20.
One and 2, Rodon to Napoli. It's inside to Mike Napoli, who for 3 days a couple of years ago was a Toronto Blue Jay. The Jays got him from the Angels January 22nd of 2011. Angels traded him, and the Jays got him and traded him away 3 days later. Avi in right is there, but he cannot put it away.
That ball was trying to work its way back to the field of play, but at the last instant, it didn't. He thinks he's got a shot. He knows exactly how much room he has, which isn't much. And the ball winds up behind him. Very difficult play to make, so that's why it scored no play. Carlos has used 4 changeups in this one at bat, something you'd have never seen at any time in his career.
Went fastball downstairs, 3 and 2. He's essentially been a 2-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, and sprinkling in the changeup.
Yes, he did. Yes, he has.
Outside ball 4. 1 out, walk to Napoli. Sox fans, join us as the White Sox take on the Cleveland Indians tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. First 10,000 fans receive a free Jose Abreu t-shirt presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big.
Carlos Santana, originally a catcher with the Los Angeles Dodger organization. Casey Blake was a third baseman, a pretty good one for the Indians. The Dodgers wanted a third baseman to put them over the top in their pursuit of the playoffs. They had a very young Carlos Santana. He came over, he played some third, he played some first, he plays some designated hitter, but doesn't catch any longer.
No go on the swing. That pitch had a good chunk of the strike zone, but often you will see on a check swing like that, you won't get the called strike. You know what might help, Steve?
A rule?
A rule that defines the word swing.
Well, you were feverishly looking through the entire rule book before the game and could not find the definition of a swing or a check swing or the appeal on a swing.
You can find the definition of a strike involving a swing or striking at the ball, but in this whole rule book, right, this whole thing, there is no definition of swing or check swing.
There is a rule, though, that when you're showing the rule book, you don't obscure your partner.
Don't obscure your partner.
Yeah, that's in. Let me see what. Hold on. Let me check that rule. I believe is right here.
That's called in forfeited games. I think you just may have at least forfeited. There's a rule about fraternization. There's a rule about balks. There's no rule that says what a swing is, and Santana didn't anyway. It's ball 4. 2 on, 1 out.
And Santana has always been the type of hitter that you have to throw strikes to because he's not going to get himself out. This is a guy historically that's going to walk a lot. 89 strikeouts this year, 89 walks. Don Cooper certainly concerned about back-to-back walks, especially with a guy who's been as hot as Ramirez has this year.
He did bounce out his first time up. He takes a strike. Ramirez last night was displeased with his strikeout looking in the second inning against Quintana. And now time called.
Last year he only hit .219. And at that point, they thought, well, look, he has a lot of versatility, can play a lot of different positions. His natural position was shortstop, but they moved him all over, including the outfield. This year, he's hitting the daylights out of him.
With every playoff team, there's somebody that comes out of nowhere.
You need, what you need, if you're going to define your playoff team, you need 3 starters at least having career years.
Whether they be pitchers or position players.
Yes.
Into right field toward the gap. And that bounces all the way to the warning track and the wall. Napoli's home, so is Santana, and Ramirez headlong with a triple to give the Indians the lead.
The 2 walks do indeed come back to haunt Carlos, as Ramirez has driven in 66. Just a banner year offensively for the very versatile, tonight, third baseman. Takes this pitch just off the outside corner and drives it into the gap. But again, back to the formula. You need 3 career years. If you include your pitchers, probably 4 career years. Then you need somebody to come up and surprise you from the minor leagues. Then you would like an acquisition that you've made to play better for you than where he came from. As well as obviously the luck of not getting seriously injured some of the guys you really are counting on.
Geyer, broken bat, flare to left, and it dunks in. 3-1 Cleveland on a 3-run 4th inning.
1 minute.
Don Cooper is going to take the long, slow walk to the mound and try to settle down his young left-hander.
That was back in the olden days. They used to have the catapults that they would send things over the castle walls with. That was the old catapult shot by Geyer.
Broken bat, base hit. That was a slider that didn't get near as inside as Carlos would have wanted it. It would drawn in infield. I'm trying to throw a ground ball. Doesn't exactly get it done as Ramirez scores. The 2 walks have scored, and the Indians have a relatively early lead.
Coco Crisp takes ball number 1. Came over from Oakland and has been a bit part player so far for Cleveland. Switch hitter gives him some versatility.
Coco was originally drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, 7th round, 1999, then traded to the Indians.
Covelli Lois Crisp, his name.
And the Indians, the first team to bring him up to the major leagues, where he had a couple of big years. 2004, 2005, 297 and 300 before moving to Boston.
Go to first on Geyer. The story goes that his grandmother used to call him Co, short of Covelli, and it was his sister that called him Coco, and they just stuck with it. Whether it happened over the breakfast table or not, we cannot be sure, but he does strike out here. 2 down in the 4th. We know that.
I think the name Covelli came from a guy that his father served in the military with. It became his first name, and that became a swing that he could not check. Where is that in the rule book, by the way?
If only there was a definition that we could compare it to. There's strike 1 to Jimenez, who walked and was doubled off in the 3rd on the Kipnis ground ball. Three-run inning for Cleveland. 2-run triple for Jose Ramirez in this 4th. Just off the plate, ball and a strike. Off speed for a strike, 1 and 2.
Good straight change, perfect spot, low and away. First 2 games of the series, you don't see Cody Allen. You don't see Andrew Miller.
That's good news.
That's a good thing when you play the Indians. If you're seeing a whole lot of those guys, you've got some problems.
Well, it looked as though it was going to be a game where they'd pitch last night. Trevor Bauer was very good through 5 innings, and in his estimation, he was very good overall. Felt like he got kind of dinked and dunked in a 12-batter 6th inning.
Yeah, sometimes the pitcher's the last guy to know that he's making bad pitches and not fooling anybody. But there is accountability in this game, and the one thing that a team trying to get to the postseason does not want to hear is you can't understand how it could possibly happen that they could batter you in the 6th.
Well, this game will turn your mind into a pretzel.
And look, she's enjoying it.
To be shared. Post ice cream. Maybe one more scoop. Or just try that. Dip it in there. You know, the one thing they teach you at Syracuse University is play-by-play of dinner. There's a special class for it. And down the well it goes. Ball and 2 strikes on Jimenez. Geyer at first. And in the dirt. Two walks came around to score. On the Ramirez triple, then Geyer the single, and here we are. As Carlos Rodon is up to 69 pitches. And it's been a long inning. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. And nap time for the Tribe offense. 3 runs beforehand. There were 12 batters in last night's 6th inning. That's 24 2 times. 12 minus 6, 2016. Chicago into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. And the numbers in Chicago's song, which begins Waiting for the Break of Day, is 25 or 6 to 4. 35 is the total of those numbers. And the answer is Melky tonight. 53. DJ L8 Night is your victor and champion. Congratulations. I'm bullish on DJL 8 Night.
I can't believe our golden bobblehead of Chris Sale is still on the shelf.
Yeah, that's a surprising one. The Gene Honda baseball is still here, though it travels to Champaign on weekends to do prize shelf PA for Illinois football. Bullno strikes to Abreu, who lined out hard in the first inning to left field. This is a tapper to shortstop. Lindor for round number 1. Hey, Sox fans, you win with Papa John's Pizza all season long. The day after the Sox win, you get 50% off your entire online order of regular menu priced items only at papajohns.com when you use promo code SOXWIN at participating Papa John's locations.
It's 70 degrees. The park is not going to be quite as lively as it's been at other times during the course of not only this homestand, but certainly the last homestand.
You know, Steve, I have a very good question from Joe Group, our very alert perceptive stage manager, graphics operator by day, stage manager by night. He asks whether or not Chicago's hit was 25 or 6 TO4 or 25 or 6 2 4.
For the purposes of your question, I would assume you would have to say the number 2.
So that's true. That's how they wrote it in the song on the album. That's what we're going to go with. However, you know, if you're going by homophones or homonyms or whatever, it's homophones, right? 2 and 2 are homophones. If you're going by those, then I guess you could argue number 2.
I can't use the phone I have.
Your cell phone?
Yes, besides your homophone.
Is it a Note 7?
No, fortunately it's not.
Popped it up, back and left of home. Jimenez on the on-deck circle for round number 2.
One thing you have to know, whether you're a catcher or you're one of the corner infielders or occasionally one of the outfielders, the ball is going to spin back toward the field of play. And we've seen many times where a catcher especially will come in, overrun the ball, only to see the ball land over his glove. That time, Jimenez did it nicely and had to deal with the on-deck circle.
Frazier takes inside a breaking ball from Tomlin. 1 strikeout, no walks for Tomlin against the Sox tonight. 3 hits. And the 1 run on the board on the RBI triple as he's run the count 2-0 on Frazier.
Tomlin is average right around 6 innings per start. If Terry Francona could get 6 from him tonight with the lead, he would absolutely be ecstatic.
Close pitch. He went after it. 2-1. Lined hard but foul. Some of these shots to the pull side for Todd Frazier are just blitzed.
That was a rocket and no chance for Ramirez to even get a glove on it. Had he gotten a glove on it, it would have been a fair ball.
Nick foul. Tomlin on 2-2. That ball's crushed left center field by Frazier. It doesn't have enough to get out. He's on his way to second and in standing up.
Unfortunately, that was a sinking line drive because he hit it hard enough to hit it out. But the ball goes off the wall as Tomlin gets one up and out over the plate. He hit the daylights out of that. Just a little too much overspin, and it takes a would-be home run and turns it into a double.
So Avi Garcia now the tying run coming up. By the way, a hello to our friend Dan Dockich, who's watching in Indianapolis. He says hello via the Twitter box.
He is your partner in basketball games.
Yes, sometimes basketball partner, always avid fan of yours. Dan Dockich said that he actually got into broadcasting in large part because of you. How about that?
That's very nice. Thank you, Dan. I grew up watching him do basketball. So I guess turnabout is fair play.
Well, you're like negative 20? He was negative 25 or so?
Yeah.
.1-0 for Avi. Could be tough. Ramirez has time and throws him out. Frazier stranded at second. 3-1 Cleveland after 4. Final out of the home fourth was a ground ball by Avi Garcia. Take us through it.
Well, what happens with a right-hand hitter? If he gets fooled and gets out front of the pitch and pulls this to the left side, he gets spun around in the batter's box. It's almost impossible to get a good jump and beat out an infield hit. When you're fooled on that was a cutter, when you're fooled on a pitch away. You get the same situation where he's going to right field with that swing where he doesn't hook it. Then you're able to get out of the box and you can beat plays.
Davis smokes it to left. And Rajai Davis is on for the first time tonight. It's a walk-in double.
This one just rifled off the wall on a couple of hops. And Davis does to Carlos what he usually does to him, hits the ball hard. Retired him twice and soft flies to right field.
Davis has a big lead and Kipnis bunts foul. Rajai Davis, one stolen base from a tie for 104th all time in the game. He would tie Derek Jeter with one more.
There you look at the numbers, 88% effective rate, and Omar Narvaez went out to Carlos Rodon to tell him to take a couple of looks back at second. Davis was certainly thinking about stealing the bag long before Kipnis decided to lay down a bunt.
Two strikes on Kipnis, who's grounded out twice against Carlos so far. Carlos has been very good career, 207 average coming in against left-handers.
Rajai Davis has tried to steal third base 13 times this year, successful 11 times. Now Tim Anderson behind him. He takes off the glove. Carlos is not looking. Normally, when a shortstop takes off his glove, that should tell the pitcher that he's going to the bag. Let's try to work a daylight pickoff. But of course, he wasn't watching, so now they got to get together on the sign.
Is Omar going out there to ask him about what's going on at second base, to tell him something about second base?
Could very well be, but that's really the last thing you want to do, is alert the base runner that something might be on.
Two strikes in the dirt, and Narvaez knocks it down.
Good stop by Omar as that slider sweeping well wide of the plate. He was able to make sure that it did not go to the screen.
You got Lindor to deal with, then Napoli and Santana coming up. Dangerous part of the order for Cleveland. Anderson can't get there. He was cheating toward the bag, and it's a single for Kipnis. Davis to third.
There is a bit of a chance that Tim Anderson might have been screened for just an instant. See where Davis is, and this line drive actually comes off the bat. Davis is between Tim and the ball. I don't think he got a good read. I think that turned out to be a good base running play, but it's more happenstance than anything else. It just happens to be hit to the spot that Davis is going to go to, and Anderson is going to go that same spot. I think that's why it got through.
Even if Tim had it at first, there was a point where he lost it going behind Davis.
Absolutely, and Don Cooper on the phone now that Carlos is in a jam here in the fifth.
2 on, nobody out, and Lindor, who doubled in the first, late on 95.
Robin has the defense set up so he will trade the run for the double play if he can get it, because the middle infield is halfway at double play depth.
He reaches out and goes after it. 0-2.
It's somewhat hard to believe. Francisco Lindor has 12 sacrifice flies. Nobody else on this entire ball club is even close. That's really getting it done, understanding the situation for a very young hitter.
A guy who wasn't a switch hitter until about age 13. He just decided to start swinging with both hands and has become one of the bright young players in Major League Baseball as Blake Smith gets loosened up in the pen after a successful debut a couple of days ago. Swing mode for sure for Lindor.
For a young hitter, 43 walks, only 79 strikeouts. That's in 564 at bats. Those are pretty good numbers for a very young and aggressive hitter.
He got him for out number 1.
That time put a little something extra on that fastball at 96 and threw it by him upstairs. You see where Narvaez wants it? That's exactly where Carlos threw it. We talked about elevation earlier, and that's what more pitchers are doing these days. And a big out, because now you get a slow runner and a double play possibility. And on a ground ball, a probability.
They plan to pull on the infield. There goes the runner from first, Kipnis, and so much for that double play. Smart base running by Kipnis.
This is an aggressive Indians team. 12th of the year for Jason Kipnis. 113th for the Indians. They've only been gunned down 28 times.
That is the most in the American League, ahead of Kansas City by 7 when play opened today. There's a blooper. Saladino with a look toward home and a beautiful play. Kept the runner, Davis at third, and 2 out.
Pretty good idea, and there's no way that Rajai Davis could risk going, because he has no idea if this is going to get over Carlos's head or in front of Saladino. nice play is he spins around, freezes Davis at third before getting the out.
If he goes blindly to first there's a chance Davis is coming home, don't you think?
I don't think he would have. The reason being that if he was assured it was going to fall, yes, then certainly. But that time he's got to stay frozen at third base because one or two guys had a shot at it. He doesn't know it's going to land perfectly between them both.
Saladino with a big smile. 2 out in what was a perilous start to the 5th inning. Not out of danger yet with Santana against Rodon. And that shoved inside, ball 1. Carlos was 38 pitches through 3 innings. Now at 85. Foul ground, first base side. Frazier is there, but he can't pull it in.
I think it was last night's game that he collided with an Indians fan. This time it hits the end of the glove and he knocks over another fan.
Todd's 2 for 2. He'd be a great dominoes player. Live dominoes. Center field. Eaton read it well. 2 left on for Cleveland. Still a 3-1 game. Here for the postgame report. Subaru postgame live coming from the ballpark tomorrow. Hey, Sox fans, celebrate your culture with Hispanic Heritage Night, September 30th, presented by Miller Lite. There will be Latin music and dancing, special activities for kids, an on-field parade, and a postgame fireworks show. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite, official beer of your Chicago White Sox. Josh Tomlin has given up 1 run through 4, but he starts Carlos Sanchez with a fading ball 1.
I think that gives you some hope when you look at inside the numbers is Josh Tomlin, with runners in scoring position this year, has given up a well-hit average of 257. That is 100 points higher than league average. It also qualifies him as 146 out of 146.
So you're saying if the Sox build a rally,
if they can get runners in scoring position this year, Tomlin has had big problems.
2-1 on Sanchez. We saw Tomlin there fidgeting with the ball in his glove. What's he doing? Kind of shaking his hand.
I was going to say, sometimes it's nervous energy. Sometimes it's just something that he does. Sometimes you're trying to get a better grip. In years past, and I'm not saying that any guys do it in this era of baseball, but there were guys who used to take the eyelets of their glove. That's where the leather comes together to hold the bottom of your glove together.
That's a breaking ball dropped in for strike 3.
And they would just raise the eyelets a touch so you could scrape the baseball. And then if you worked on it, you knew which way it was going to move. That curveball has the plate.
So 1 out for Saladino from the Texan Tomlin. Couple of hops to third. Ramirez 2 away in the Sox 5th.
The triple in the 3rd inning drove in the Sox run. And with that first White Sox run, Eclick Lending has donated $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families.
Here is Adam Eaton, who's looking for yet another multi-hit game. He's 12 for his last 23. And he takes strike 1. Multi-hit games, 53, and a tie for 4th place in the American League as he lays off strike 2. Just some big names on that list.
Mookie Betts having just a remarkable year. He'll get obvious consideration for the MVP along with David Ortiz. Jose Altuve has had also a great year, leading the league in hitting most of the year.
And Ian Desmond, who started off like gangbusters but has fit in perfectly, even when he's been on a downturn, fit in perfectly with the Rangers.
Well, the best thing of what happened with Ian Desmond was they found out he could play center field, because he's a shortstop by trade, but you're not going to play there much with Andrus at short. They've got a lot of middle infielders, but they desperately needed a center fielder or a left fielder, and Desmond can do both.
Jam shot to first, one big hop to Napoli, who decides Tomlin's there. Might as well avail himself of the help. 1-2-3 inning for Tomlin.
Pride with White Sox checking, an official White Sox MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Are you a member FDIC?
Personally, no. But I avail myself of the security that they afford you.
Got to have that little logo. Means your money's safe.
Up to a certain point it is.
Would you like to take us through the rules?
Well, I have a book. I have the rule book.
Does it have a swing in it?
Nope, it has none of those.
Okay. Then it's useless, I say. 2 balls and a strikeout. Ramirez, who tripled in 2 in the 4th inning and gave Cleveland the lead. To third and under. Sanchez, base hit for Ramirez.
Carlos did a great job of getting out of the 5th inning in a big jam. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Lindor on strikes. Napoli a ground out and a line out by Santana. And this time, Ramirez with his 2nd hit. Carlos Sanchez can't get to it.
Leadoff man on for the 3rd time tonight for Cleveland in 6 innings. And Geyer, a foul ball.
Geyer's been hit with the Indians 7 times. Was hit 23 times with Tampa Bay.
You have a pretty strong feeling of what the result would be had he ever faced former Tribe pitcher Eric Plunk.
Especially because there are numerous times when Eric didn't have the best control around. Good name, though.
On the ground, runner was off, and this gets through. Ramirez on his way to 3rd. You talk about the 5.5 hole. There it was.
Third basemen are taught cut off everything they can, but this time it was a deflection that made sure that nobody was going to make this play. Does go as a base hit. Carlos coming across. Ball hits off the end of the glove, and Anderson, because of the redirection, can't get to it. And another jam for Rodon, the 2nd hit of the night for Geyer.
And here is Coco Crisp, who doubled to left in the 3rd. The Indians with their 2nd straight inning with the first 2 runners on by a hit. That ball is hammered to left field by Coco Crisp, and it is out of here.
He got a first ball changeup and waited for it. And from a pitching standpoint, when you throw a changeup and the hitter doesn't move either his leg or his hands, you know you've got problems. Because you haven't fooled him, you've tipped it somehow. That's going to be it for Carlos Rodon. Our forward home run replay. You see the front foot down, but the hands back, and then you explode on it. Cost him a 3-run home run. And that's going to be it. So Carlos Rodon will exit, as will we. Be back after this.
Anniversary with a free open house Saturday, September 24th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Lisle. Kids can participate in a skills competition, watch the mascot home run derby, take a photo with the World Series trophy, and more. BullsSoxAcademy.com. Bulls night here. It's Indians night as well so far.
Our Hyundai call to the pen is Blake Smith on for just the third time. Grand total of 2 innings, a couple of hits, nary a walk or strikeout to this point. He has allowed 1 home run.
To third base, Sanchez. 1 down. So it's up to Rajai Davis after the first 3 reached and scored in this inning for Cleveland. Indians had a 3-run 4th and this 3-run 6th. And this base hit from Rajai Davis, who is pesky on the base path with 35 steals this year.
Regardless of what uniform Rajai Davis has worn, he's always done a good job against Sox pitching. 2 hits tonight. Pretty much what he'll do a lot. However, Sox held him hitless last night.
He was 1 for 10 in the series before his last 2 at-bats. One and one. Time for America's fastest growing sensation. We call it sticks and stones. Steve calls it sometimes a pain in the neck. Jorge Orta. How'd you do?
Well, because I was his teammate when I was with the White Sox, I probably didn't face him as much as I could have. He was a left-hand hitter, pretty good hitter.
He was only with Cleveland for 2 years.
Yeah, that's why I say it had to be limited as far as head-to-head. I'll say because he was a left-hand hitter and a good one that I didn't do very well.
We'll see. I feel really strongly about you in this one.
You
I
do,
do.
huh?
I'm rooting for you big. It seems like, by the way, about 85% of the hitters in sticks and stone are left-handers. And like, what's 12% of the population's a left-handed hitter?
That's the only guys apparently I ever faced were left-handers.
What is it, like 25%? How many hitters are lefties in the majors? What would you guess? Go to first. Davis is back.
I don't know, but they seem to have come out of the woodwork to face me.
You know, it's been 3 days in a Cleveland Indians series, and we've been very good to you. We have not mentioned anything about
Put up the guy,
your Voldemort,
the guy,
the man who shall remain nameless. Here's the answer to how Steve did against Jorge Orta. 1 for 8. He didn't do anything against you.
well, he got a double.
Yes.
Only 9 plate appearances. George was a very nice guy.
Two and two on Kipnis. Check swing, ball high. Go to second is not in time. Davis swipes his 36th.
He does a pretty good job because he goes in hard and goes over the bag and then hooks the bag with his foot so he won't come off it. It's a pretty good throw. But you see him as he hooks the bag with his foot. Not an easy thing to do when you're going that fast. "36 of them.
Question is he done? 3-2, fouled away on a breaking ball. Off the bag at first, Frazier bare hands it down. Nifty play.
Well, there's one thing, and there are probably a few more, but that's one thing you can't teach because nobody is that good with a fungo. This ball goes down the line, hits the bag. Normally, that's into right field for a two-base hit. But Todd Frazier, with good reflexes, just reaches back, makes the play, and saves a run. Great effort by the third baseman, who's moved to first. Try working on that before the game.
Whew.
Tell your coach, can you please hit me some ground balls that hit the bag?
Make me double back and go bare hand. Yeah.
Good effort, although Jason Kipnis probably doesn't agree. It's quite a play.
With Davis at third, 2 down now. And 2-0.
Our Dave Ross lets me know that left-handers hit .267 against me for my career.
I think we've had all of the hits then.
Right-handers .240. Yay, right-handers.
Your foam fingers at home are all right-handed.
Outfield straight away. Avi not overly deep in right field. Lindor's got some power.
He takes a strike right on the edge, 3-1.
There you look at the defense. Adam Eaton, a step or so to the right of center. Pretty much straight away in the infield also.
Three and 2 on Lindor. Two-out pitch. Wrapped to second. Saladino for the final out. Frazier saves a run. Cleveland gets 3 though. We're 5.5 deep at 6-1.
NJet. NJet, Chicagoland's choice in jet charter service. Just drive up and take off. For a quote, visit n-jet.com or call 888-FLY-NJET.
Is that how you get to the ballpark?
No, because they'd have to drive farther.
Bullpen time for Cleveland.
Dan Otero comes in the ballgame on for the 57th time. He's 4-1. His ERA a fine 158. We did see him in the opener of this one. No, actually, we saw him last night in relief of Bauer, and it wasn't a good night for him. 1/3 of an inning, couple of runs on 3 hits.
Abraham Almonte is into right field for Brandon Guyer. And so he will bat in the 7th spot. Ball and a strike to Anderson. It's a called strike. I went fishing for that same corner. Didn't get it. 2-2 from Otero.
Michael Inoa starts to loosen up in the pen.
It's low. 3-2 on Anderson, who took a walk last night, his 10th in his career.
Otero out of Duke University. And he graduated early. That's pretty impressive.
Sharply hit. Napoli spears it and one away. Here's Melky.
Pretty solid performance from Josh Tomlin. I don't think Terry Francona could have asked for a whole lot more.
Five innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks.
The no walks part, not surprising. He has as good a control as anybody in the game. Very good job for a pitching staff that desperately needed a well-pitched ball game.
Up high and fouled away. Tomlin, when he was going really well in the minors and the majors, would walk basically on average about 20, 22 guys a year.
You said you saw him in the minor leagues.
Yeah, he was confounding to A-ball hitters. Melky with a base hit to right.
That pitch was way out of the zone. Melky gives himself a hand by taking a pitch almost off the ground and drilling it to right field.
We're telling you about the rule book there earlier. There is a rule against fraternization. That would be the doom of Melky Cabrera's career if it were enforced.
It used to be enforced all the time. There was an umpire that would sit in the stands right behind home plate to make sure that the guys could not fraternize, but that rule has gone bye-bye.
Where did that person generally come from? A finishing school overseas?
He just was one of the regular old umpires.
Okay, so here's the rule as it would pertain to Melky possibly hugging first baseman, which happens every once and again. We'll give it to you after the 1-1. And 1-2 on Abreu. Players in uniform shall not address or mingle with spectators, nor sit in the stands before, during, or after a game. No manager, coach, or players shall address any spectator before or during a game. Players of opposing teams shall not fraternize at any time while in uniform. And to the letter of the law, Melky and Napoli very successful within the rules right now. It's just the way it goes, right? When the teacher's watching, none of the unlawful stuff happens. They're not even looking at each other. Rule 309.
Melky is shunning him to this point.
2-2. Yank foul. You know, after his baseball career is over, you could see Melky Cabrera hosting a talk show, couldn't you?
No, I could see him being an ambassador.
Interesting. You think suit and tie would work for him?
He wouldn't be that kind of ambassador. Just a regular old, casually dressed ambassador.
The jeans ambassador. There's strike three. Abreu is down. Second out. Sixth inning.
And here comes Terry Francona, who figures, well, 2 outs, that's enough. Got 13 guys in the bullpen. And here's one of them. We'll be back.
U.S. Cellular Field, accessible from the 100, 300, and 500 levels. Young Sox fans can learn baseball from the White Sox Training Academy coaches. Don't miss the batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and be sure to check out the latest Xfinity technology, including the X1 platform.
Brian Shaw's our Hyundai call to the pen on for the 68th time. ERA very good at 3.19.
One pitch, and Brian Shaw has done his job. With just 8 right-handers remaining in the Cleveland bullpen, we'll see if he's allowed to come back out for the 7th.
So the Indians for the finale of the series and the homestand tomorrow afternoon, and then it's off to Kansas City for a wraparound series. Friday, Saturday, Sunday was a scheduled off day. A rainout necessitated that game on Monday afternoon. That is the PNC Bank upcoming schedule. And Michael Inoa comes in the ball game on for the 18th time. And he hasn't been out on the mound for quite some time.
He will face Napoli, Santana, and Ramirez. And if anybody reaches Abraham Almonte. Inoa last pitched 11 days ago in Minnesota. He's not pitched this homestand.
He's obviously well rested.
He's not given up a run in his last 3 appearances dating back to August 19th. As Inoa is in with strike 1 to Napoli. To the moon it goes. It's 0-2. Sox and Indians will play again tomorrow. Hope you can join us. That's a 1:10 start time. Right here on CSN Chicago. James Shields going to the mound for the Sox against Mike Clevenger for the Indians.
The Indians still believe they've got a shot at chasing down Texas for the best record in the American League.
It's a 3-game spread coming into play today.
And Houston, who still believes they have a shot in the wild card, although their chances are getting distant. Jose Altuve left the game with an oblique problem, and Alex Bregman, who came up, did such a good job as one of the shining stars in their organization, left the game with a bad right hamstring.
And they're leading nonetheless.
Not good for the Astros.
You're saying losing Altuve and Bregman for any period of time isn't long-term successful?
Yep. Carlos Correa also having some shoulder difficulties, although it's his left shoulder.
Inoa to Napoli. Anderson comes forward. Fries it out of the glove for out number 1.
He had all kinds of time, took his time.
$222 million.
For Powerball. Your chances are very good.
It could happen.
It does happen.
I'll be back in a couple minutes. Go grab a couple tickets. Santana against Inoa. The shift is on, by the way, for Carlos Santana. If the ball goes to the left side of the infield, it's Carlos versus Carlos. That one scramble out of the way.
I think that one hit Dale Scott. I'm pretty sure it did.
Sounded like shin guard.
We'll watch it again. This ball is inside, and yes, right off the right shin guard, Dale Scott.
Well, he sold it well. Santana did. Pitch was close to the zone, if not in the zone.
Probably not going to get one up and in that spot too often.
Lines inside, 3-1 on Santana, who walked and scored in front of the Ramirez 2-run triple in the 4th. in the air left field side. And that's a foul ball.
With the shift, that's an astonishingly long run for Carlos Sanchez. Melky had no chance. Carlos he was playing straightaway shortstop. He'd have to run for days to get to that ball.
Melky's looking like, no,
I can't get it, so you take it.
Three and two. He got him over the inside edge. Down goes Santana, 2 out in the 7th.
They're trying to get that ball inside the entire at bat. Finally got it exactly where he wanted it and threw it by him.
This would be the first 1, 2, 3 innings since the second if Inoa could complete it. And he misses outside to Ramirez, who scored twice and he's driven in 2. Foul down the right field line. Wind starting to pick up here at U.S. Cellular Field.
It is. A front moving in.
Cold front?
Colder front, yes.
One from Inoa. Check swing. And he did go, so 1 and 2. We've had a couple tweets of people saying, I thought, if his hands broke in front of the plate, or if you break the horizontal plane, or whatever it might be, there's no one rubric for what a check swing is. It's a judgment call.
And no definition.
It's a foul ball from Ramirez.
Sandy Alomar, long-time Major League catcher, the first base coach.
One and 2 on Ramirez. Sox in this game took the lead in the 3rd with an RBI triple from Eaton. Didn't last for very long, though. The Indians with 3 in the 4th. Skied foul again. Well, elsewhere in the American League Central, the Tigers have won, so the Indians' best they could do would be keep a 6-game lead on Detroit, with a series coming up between the Tigers and the Indians.
They play twice more, don't they?
They do. In each venue once. Left field slicing toward the line. Melky is coming. And Melky secures it. It's a 1, 2, 3 inning for Inoa. At stretch time, the Sox need a nickel.
to you by T-Mobile. And this is a specialized T-Mobile because we had to use it when the Sox were well down in a ball game, because these are the highest batting averages since August 1st, with the Rockies on top, followed by the Red Sox, who are on top of most every offensive list. Yes. Then the Reds, and then our Sox at 279. During that time, one under 500.
You know, the Rockies were kind of fringy. They looked like they might get into the wild card race. They took a downturn. Now they're 8.5 back of San Francisco, but that Red Sox team just keeps on churning.
They certainly can hit, but it's a very tough division.
Check swing and a foul from Frazier, who doubled to left in the fourth.
Yankees probably lost one of their good-looking young players for the rest of this season. Aaron Judge. Thinking oblique. Probably will sideline him.
In the air left side, Coco Crisp scoots in. And there's out number one. This Hispanic Heritage Month, MLB and the Chicago White Sox are celebrating the many ways Latinos put an accent on baseball. Share how you put an accent on the game with hashtag Ponle Acento. Hashtag Ponle Acento. Put on the accent. Ponle Acento.
Are you trilingual?
What would the third one be?
I don't know. You're a man of many interests.
Un poco español. A little bit of Latin. Amo amas amat. You don't love it?
No. E plurbuses I can deal with.
How many? Just doing them?
That's it.
Want to know to Avisail Garcia, 2-0.
Yearly Brian Shaw just keeps piling up appearances. And the bullpen, as you would expect for the Indians, up and going.
Shortstop. Just a scorcher to Lindor for out number 2. The Indians bullpen, with all the players in there, they have 13 relievers. Kind of looks like that room in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, when the roof gets smaller and smaller and smaller and lower, and everybody's packed into the side of the room. They're sitting on top of the bench. They're double decking the bench. More furniture, stat.
They are ready to go. And you would think you'd see Andrew Miller for an appearance at least, so he could keep his control sharp. Shaw came from the Diamondbacks. He's always known as a guy with a very good slider. And he's always among the league leaders in appearances.
That fades inside. Ball and a strike on Sanchez. When you're talking about a reliever this time of year, how many days off is too many?
Well, it depends on the reliever, certainly. But you want to make sure he doesn't go much over 3 days. There you look at the totals. A career ERA of 3.03, which is outstanding.
Over that many outings, too. Davis in center has the third out, so Shaw has faced 4, and he's gotten rid of 4. 7 deep, 6-1.
action replay, and it's the quick reflexes of Todd Frazier. This one ticketed for right field, and a run batted in, possibly a double, but Frazier says no, indeed. And Bob Davidson gives it that frightened face pointing into fair territory. A 3-1 putout and a dandy.
We're through 7 tonight, 6-1 Cleveland. The lead since the 4th. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone, our entire crew, thanks for joining us. As Abraham Almonte bats for the first time tonight, cracks one to right center field. Eaton is back at the wall. Adam Eaton is there.
What a play by Adam Eaton. Timing was perfect. He got back with maybe 1 foot to spare. Almonte bidding for a triple. Eaton goes up. He has his choice of any car in the aisle.
Executive elite.
Nice play.
One down, Coco Crisp takes a strike. Hey, the 2017 schedule's out, Steve.
It is, and it's terribly exciting.
There are 162 of them, as I count.
And we go head-to-head with the National League West.
Right field, Avi Garcia on the move for round number 2.
We're going to highlight some of it. Home opener against the Tigers. The road opener against these same Indians. 4-game series, home and home with the Cubs. And interleague opponents. It's the West. We go to Arizona. We go to Colorado. And we've got the Giants, the Dodgers, and the San Diegos coming here.
Extra bonus travel for the Sox next year out to the National League West, although not for you because you get to stay home for that Diamondbacks series.
You're right. That's a great series.
Your off-season home. You're a Chicagoan at
Right.
heart, but
Lined up 22nd, 3rd, and 4th of May.
with an off day afterward, too. Look at you. Sunning in Scottsdale.
That is the back end of a very long road trip, however. The Angels, the Mariners for 4, and then the AZs.
Eaton, 3 in the air, and 3 pushed aside by Enoa. Sox to bat after this. More to it on White Sox Postgame Live. Andrew Miller is in for Cleveland.
On for the 62nd time. Been successful, 12 of 14 in save opportunities. ERA a minuscule 169. 105 strikeouts in 64 innings.
Miller is strike to Saladino. By the way, this day in 1955, big day in Indians history, Herb Score set a new rookie record for strikeouts in a season, with 227 at the time. Lindor, round number 1. Most popular way to follow White Sox baseball is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, game day, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. They did not have MLB.com at Bat in Herb Score's day. Set that record with 245 strikeouts at the end of the year. That lasted till Doc Gooden did it back in '84.
A lot of people who have never heard of Herb Score. He probably was his generation's Clayton Kershaw. Equally as unhittable, he threw much harder. And then a line drive off his eye had some bearing on what happened later. He came to the White Sox and then hurt his arm, but having grown up in Cleveland, there were some gruesome pictures in the paper of him on the mound after that line drive off the bat of a Yankee infielder named Gil McDougall.
Tough play. Ramirez cuts it off nicely.
Ironic part of the addition of Andrew Miller, this is a big acquisition for the Indians because they gave up 4 players to get him, including a top-of-the-line pitcher and outfielder. And yet, he didn't get the acclaim that he really should have gotten, only because Jonathan Lucroy on the same day decided to nix the trade. That got a whole lot of publicity, and the addition of Miller, which is wonderful for the back end of the bullpen, whatever capacity he's used in, just wasn't greeted with the same type of exuberance by Indians fans. Timing is everything.
2 strikes to Tim Anderson, who we talked to him the other day for White Sox warm-up on Sunday, and Tim said the guy he faced so far in the major leagues that had the best stuff is this guy, Andrew Miller.
It's really unbelievable stuff. He was a #1 draft pick as a starter of the Detroit Tigers, and I remember in a game he pitched against the White Sox in this park, he looked like he was absolutely going to be a star, and it really didn't work out for him as a starter.
Anderson was caught in between. He swings at strike 3, and Miller has a 1-2-3-8. 6-1 Cleveland.
Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moment. The big belt of the game came off the bat of Coco Crisp, a 3-run homer in the 6th inning after a couple of singles. 12th homer of the year for Coco, who they acquired from Oakland. He's back with a team that brought him to the major leagues and making the most of it. Our Miller moment. And we got a new pitcher, Juan Minaya, coming in the game. On for the 5th time. He's been awfully good out of the bullpen.
He replaces Michael Yanoa, who went 2 innings, struck out 1, and gave up no base runners. So Minaya, the former Houston Astro farmhand, will face Rajay Davis with ball number 1. His former team, the Astros, are trying to hold off the Rangers. It's 5-4 in the 8th. Houston with the lead. It was 5-1 as of the end of the 6th. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, Houston.
Houston can certainly, and that got a piece of Dale Scott. But Houston can find some ways to lose to the Texas Rangers. That might have shaken them up. You see where they set up? It's called the slot. That one hit off of Narvaez and then got a piece of the left arm of Dale Scott.
Melky for out number 1. Well, the Rangers got a run off of Will Harris in the Astros bullpen. This would be just a crushing blow if the Rangers came back to win this. Although the Astros are batting and have a runner on in the bottom of the 8th.
You would think that this one they would hold on to.
Are you telling me what they said last night? 2 nights ago?
What, the last series?
It's tough.
Well, it's pretty much like the Indians-Tigers. Indians are where they are, Tigers are where they are because of the Indians' ability to dominate the Detroit Tigers.
Anderson scoops it. And Frazier the tag for round number 2.
First basemen aren't particularly enamored with that type of play because it's easy to wind up with a hyperextended elbow or broken arm as you come toward home plate and have to put the tag on. Tim has some time. He flips it over there, and I think those are one of the plays that he will learn to get a little more balance and make the throw. He had some time.
I don't think base runners like it very much either when that tag has to come down on them.
Well, occasionally you see things happen like Jose Abreu getting a face full of mitt. Or sometimes a forearm or elbow on the way by. Here, take this one.
It's inside 2-0 on Lindor. Hope you can be along for the ride tomorrow. It's a 1:10 start time. We'll be back here on CSN Chicago. Mike Clevenger, James Shields, your pitching matchup. Sox will see the Indians very quickly thereafter. After 4 with Kansas City, 2 with Philadelphia, Sox will be in Cleveland
for an off day, and then 3-game series.
You being a former resident of the area, we're going to ask you when we come back what you would do with 24 hours in Cleveland, Ohio. The Steve Stone Travel Guide.
I will think about that and let you know.
Yeah, you got time.
series finale as James Shields and our Sox face Mike Clevenger and the Tribe. Begins at 12:30 with White Sox pregame live presented by the Koalas family of dealerships on CSN Chicago. We get a new pitcher coming in the ball game. He is their closer, Cody Allen, who's been throwing it real well lately. 27 for 30 in save opportunities, an ERA of 2.70, 80 strikeouts in 60 innings. He's thrown a bit harder, and the curveball has been sharper recently, and Terry Francona getting him an inning of work to keep him sharp, as he did with Andrew Miller, who made very short work of the 8th inning. So for me, 24 hours in Cleveland allows me an opportunity to see family members, eat at my favorite 3 delis.
3 delis?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was the new deli. The one that
it's right next to Bangalore.
I used to go to. There's Corky and Lenny's.
Okay.
There is Jack's.
Okay.
And then there's one downtown. No, actually, there is the warehouse for Vienna. So you can get corned beef right from the source.
That's a base hit to left field from a source of 3 hits tonight for the Sox, Melky Cabrera.
Pull up to this huge warehouse, and they give you the same corned beef they give to the delis, only you get it right from the slicer, warm, with ballpark mustard, which is a wonderful thing that they have in Cleveland.
Is it only corned beef at the warehouse, or do they have hot dogs and things like that?
You have whatever. I just get corned beef there.
Bob Marley and the Whalers. Lookalikes.
I think that time Jose decided that if the ball actually left Cody Allen's hand, he was going to be swinging.
Did you ever play the plastic cup in your band days?
No. I was an air guitarist.
They sound a lot like maracas if you play them just the right way. Melky at first, Abreu the batter against Allen. Indians have made a substitution at second base. Michael Martinez, who played the outfield earlier in the series. He's in for Kipnis. On 0-2 from Allen. There's strike 3.
So then I go to the zoo. Love the Cleveland Zoo.
So 3 delis at a zoo. This is 24 hours in Cleveland, by the way.
And
3 delis at a warehouse and a zoo.
A zoo, and then I go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Which has been terrific.
Yeah. Is that an I.M. Pei building? Is that right? He built that?
I haven't the foggiest.
You don't know?
No.
Looks like something he would have built, the pyramid kind of structure thing. But you like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yes. Then I go back to my old high school, make sure that I did indeed graduate from there, which is still one of the 7 or 8 wonders of the world.
What was your school nickname? You were the Brush Fires, is that right?
No. Close. The Brush Arcs.
Arcs?
The worst nickname of any high school in the country.
A-R-K or A-R-C?
A-R-C, yes. Arcs.
Arcs.
And you
were
ask
parabolas?
Why would you name it the Brush Arcs?
Yeah.
You would probably be wondering.
Sure am.
Because Charles F. Brush invented the arc light, as well as apparently a number of other things, including a high school education.
Wow.
Yep, he did.
You went to high school inside of like corporate agitprop. There's I think it's Midland, Michigan. They have the high school. The nickname is the Chemists because Dow Chemical has a strong foothold in Midland, Michigan. So very similarly, Mr. Arc and his light bulbs.
Arc lights.
Yeah. Mr. Brush and his brush lights. 3-1 on Omar.
But after the extensive emotional scarring that the word arcs gave you, as whatever they called you that, I moved to the Golden Flashes of Kent State University.
The terrifying Golden Flashes. We will light up your sky. 3-1. On the ground, a hard hit. Napoli turns and sends it into left field. Postage and handling. 2 on, 1 out.
That certainly could have been 2. Instead, it turns into none. As Mike Napoli usually throws it well, but this time he got under it. And Lindor has no chance whatsoever.
Well, the plot thickens here in the 9th. Todd Frazier with 2 on and 1 out.
13th error of the year for Mike Napoli.
That's a strike. Todd didn't like it from Dale Scott. And the dirt, ball and a strike.
Nice stop by Chris Jimenez. This is kind of an interesting quandary for Terry Francona in that you bring in your closer to sharpen himself up, give him an inning, but you don't want to see him get to 25 or more pitches. Right now he's only at 12, but still 2 outs to go.
Ball and a strike on Frazier. Went after a fastball, 1-2. Avi Garcia scheduled next to face Allen. One and 2 from Allen. On the ground up the middle. Martinez turns 2 and the game's over. Too much offense from Cleveland tonight.
Yeah, Cleveland started early tonight. Unfortunately, for one of the few times in the last 5 weeks, Carlos Rodon didn't have it. The Indians win for them a critical game. And we'll leave it up to the finale of the homestand and this series tomorrow afternoon. I will see you then.
That's a 1:10 start time. We'll be there as we say goodnight. Our director, Jim Angio, for our producer, Keon Dolachaki, our associate producer, Dave Ross, tech manager, Mark Harper, and the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. Saying so long for our entire crew from U.S. Cellular Field. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live, Chuck and Bill. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Good night.